Welcome everybody to the Sunday night talk, all things financials with our group. And for the most part, we have an engaging time during our sessions. So if this is your first time here and want to connect with us, please join us every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're very engaging. So ask your questions, join us, kick off your shoes, let's have some fun. Today, John Masai, one of the individuals who had signed up under MetaFiYielders, had an interesting question this week, and I wanted to address that. And his question was, Devon, after we accumulate some money in the MetaFiYielders world, how do we convert it to either a new contract or send it someplace else? So I want to just go over that briefly today. This would be one of our last sessions on MetaFiYielders because we would like to probably talk a little bit more about crypto wallets, and then move on into the space of maybe having a guest CPA to talk a little about taxes and what does it mean to invest in any asset class where the capital gains can impact your balance sheet. So we're gearing up in the next couple of weeks in order to have other people on the show talking and just making sure that our portfolio is in sync. There again, I normally showcase my portfolio, whether it's real estate, whether it's buying of businesses, or whether it's in the passive space. We generally talk about those three areas. However, as we developed our own portfolio, these are some of the things that are being questioned within ourselves. There again, some of these investment types are not for everybody. I've mentioned that, our first crypto arbitrage, even when we get to the crypto arbitrage, even that's not for everybody. So understand what you're investing in. Understand that I'm not a financial advisor. Understand that you're investing with monies that you can afford to lose. Don't put anything in any of these things unless you vet them for yourself and do your own due diligence. But with that said, I'll share my screen and go over to the MetaFiYielders. So I'll share sound, optimize the video clip, hit share, and then I will bring up MetaFiYielders. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll log into my account. Upon logging into your account, you'll be able to see some new changes. From our following conversations, I was at 11,000. In my active deposits, I'm now at 17. And let me go to the withdrawal amounts. And I've so far withdrawn $4,545 out. And the question that I'm answering this week is, how do you do a withdrawal and enter in another contract, right? Well, right now I have the ability to withdraw $838.70. And I'm waiting for this to grow into something above 2,500 so that I can re-engage in another contract whereby it produces a daily yield of 82.50, something along those lines. So I'll be increasing my withdrawal amount on a daily basis, and I'm stacking contracts on top of contracts so that it can yield a bigger daily withdrawal. Now, in order to first start the process, we need to create a deposit. So I'll hit create deposit. And there again, this takes me to the contract. In this particular case, I only have $800, right? That $838 does not qualify for the 3.3 percentage points. That $800 does not qualify for the 3.3 percentage points, primarily because we need a $2,500 allotment and above in order to meet that description. So filling out a contract in this space is very critical, because you want to make sure that you don't have any complication with conflicts. So at the 1 percentage points, I can then take out a contract with Bitcoin, or let's say $800. Or let me make sure, first of all, let me make sure that I have that in Bitcoin. That $800 in terms of a withdrawal might not be only, because I do have two coins. I have Bitcoin and I have TRC20. So in my Bitcoin, I have 695, and in my TRC20, I have 145. That makes up the total of $838.70. So there again, my contract now, let's say I would have to do it for about $695. Go back to the control panel. Hit create deposit. So Bitcoin, it's just kicks and giggles, let's just say $600. I would hit the invest button now. This invest button is going to give me a number to the buy. This number here is the contract in terms of how to fund. So I would simply copy that in. I would go back to withdraw funds. Make certain that I hit the $600 here in the amount column. But more importantly, I would update this column here. And this is where the address would go for when you are ready to withdraw your funds and recreate your contract with MetaFiYielders. Now, how can you change this address? You actually have to go to settings. In here where it says, for me, it's Bitcoin, but you may have another one of Ethereum, Litecoin. You may have another coin. You would simply put that very same address in that the computer gives you. So that's the new address. I would hit update. I don't want to do this now because I'm waiting to accumulate. But once you hit update, you would notice that that's the very same address, not only on the contract, but also highlighted here in your Bitcoin setting. And once you confirm the change of address, you now would then be able to hit withdraw funds, and it'll take 24 hours to go to that very same address. And you should notice a new contract within your transactional history. In this history, you'll see every last history that you have in the MetaFiYielders. And There again, I have about 5 contracts in here, and they are producing on a daily allotment the sum total of about maybe $506 a day in this space. And that's a good thing. So with that said, that was one of the questions that we were dealing with this week in terms of recreating a contract with MetaFiYielders. John, I know you will listen, not John Lynn, John Masag. I know that you'll listen to this video at some other point in time, and you'd realize that everything went well with your transaction. Thank you for joining our team, and I look forward to hearing more questions from you as you usually bring them. Well, anyhow, that's it for MetaFiYielders. I wouldn't be doing another presentation on MetaFiYielders for some time. In our next episode, we will talk specifically about wallets, because that's the transitioning period. Orlando Payne this week had a very interesting scenario with his wallet. And one of the most challenging things that we've discovered is getting the wallet set up takes about a week, and it's frustrating. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. It's frustrating as nobody's business, because at the end of the day, it takes a minute in order for everyone to get accustomed to which crypto wallets they like, which ones they hate, which ones operate on a faster time frame. And we know that you want to get your monies in and everything else like that, but it takes a minute. So without saying anything else, is there any questions from anybody this week on the MetaFiYielders that I can answer for you at this particular time? There again, next week, we'll be doing the differences between cold wallets and hot wallets, and how to supercharge some of your wallets. But that's not a discussion for today. We wanted to close out the MetaFiYielders. They are producing. We do have some additional accounts in the 4.2% bracket. They are paying quite nicely. And I bounce contracts between my account and my wife's account. So at the end of the day, we're probably up to about $1,600 a day between both of our accounts, and creating additional contracts as we go, leveraging both accounts. So is there any additional questions at this time that I can answer? I know Allison is on as well too. If she can answer as well, please go for it.
I just want to say, did you just say $1,600 a day?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Where are you going to get that kind of return anywhere? Whoa.
That's fine, Allison. But you know, I've only seen that type of return in my trading account, right? Now but there again, I'm a trader, so it's difficult for anybody else to, if you don't have the skill set in certain areas, to really understand what it takes in order to compound or something along those lines. It's difficult to wrap your head around this thing. And no matter how much return it is, it's still difficult if you don't understand the space that we're in. So even though it took me a minute to wrap my head around it, it's not for everybody, right? I like chocolate ice cream. Some people not gonna like chocolate ice cream. Some people like vanilla ice cream. Doesn't mean that it's bad or good. It simply means that, you know, if something doesn't vibe for you, regardless of the 10% every 3 days or something along those lines, because you feel that it carries risk, that's okay, you know, and be okay with that. But I thought I should mention some of the areas that are doing our portfolio really, really good. I like the notion of being a bank unto myself, but it's not for everybody. So Allison, I agree with you. 10% is great. I haven't found it anyplace else. Um, the only other question that that I can probably think about at this time would be, how does this play into the whole business arena, and how I'm leveraging it in order to make certain that the businesses that I invest in, or the deals that I invest in, also takes advantage of this. There again, I like using other people's money just like anybody else. How I'm leveraging these things in the space is, once we withdraw the funds and regain our principal monies back, and it constantly pays out, I simply going to do one or two things. I'm either going to pay down debt, number one, or put a contributed capital in for some of the businesses that I engage in. Some of those businesses now are linked to the SBA, in which I now can ask for more money for some of the developments that I want to do. And hence, that is a big development for me as it relates to closing of the gap of understanding how to grow capital and then how to leverage it. Yes, we can talk private placement memorandum, we can talk IPO, we can talk SPAC. However, at the lower level of any development, the question that is posed, how much money are you putting into the ticket? And this helps me to understand exactly how much money can I put into the ticket. Because if I'm compounding at a rate that I'm compounding, if I need 50K or I need 100K to put into a deal in order to get $1 million to do a $1 million deal, now it's a no-brainer. So that's how I'm leveraging these, how should I put it, yield farming softwares in order to leverage the wealth. The additional question would be, well, suppose this platform goes dark. Well, if it goes dark, I'm developing 9 others with a very similar income stream. But it does mean that I have to hold my breath for the first 30 days. So upon the 30-day cycle, when I can start to withdraw, that's just my own personal strategy, I now can actually knock on the door with something significant, whether it be to assist on my personal side or assist on the business side. So it's just a matter of having these things as an additional tool for what you want to use it for. Now, MetaFiYielders, they have put out a lot of information out there. I am going to reach out to Michael Dahar and see if he could come on our show on one of these Sunday evenings. I'll put an email into the chat on Monday when I talk to their representative to see if I can invite him on. And whatever date he gives us, and we'll see how well he does on us interviewing him. Other than that,
can I ask a question?
go ahead, Tori.
I wanted to find out if everybody that's on the line right now actually knows exactly how, if they're new, they may not know exactly how this platform is performing, the doubling plus the interest that you take off daily, and how that's like 199% profit. So is there anybody that's new that would not know that? Should we go over that? I just always want to make sure that everybody understands exactly how this platform is paying out, because it's paying out really well. But just so you understand and so you can plan accordingly.
Well, for me, that's going to be the $10,000 question. The minute the contract comes to expiration. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. And here, let me see here, my
Well,
deposit.
for them to understand that you put in 2,500, it doubles in 30 business days. In addition to that, you're drawing off 3.3% daily, which equals up to $2,475, $2,475 in the same 30 business day cycle. So you are actually you're pulling off the interest almost as much, very close to the same amount you put in at 2,500. Same at 5,000, 10,000, whatever amount is in, you're going to draw off just below what you're actually put in for that 30-day period, in addition to whatever you have in there not being affected, and it will double for the next cycle. If that's, if you want that to go into the next cycle, it will double. That's something I just want to make sure that fundamental understanding is always there, because that is powerful for a lot of people who are commissioned or just want extra money coming into their home.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. I have 27 days, 21 hours to wait to see what happens to this number. So I'm looking forward to seeing this was the very first contract that I opened with MetaFiYielders. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and how that's impacted in 27 days and 21 hours. I can't wait, right? It's going to be interesting.
So does everybody that's on the line understand how this is paying out? Do they understand? Are they new? Do they understand if they're new? Or is that clear?
I have a question. This is Tori. You said that it doubles and it pays a daily percentage rate. So if you deposit the 2,500, then at the end you would your earned profit would be 2,475. Is that what you said?
Yes, every day, Tori, the 3.3% is paid in your account, $82.50. At the end of 30 business days, that equals to $2,475. That's interest that you get every day, regardless. And then your 2,500 will also have doubled in 30 business days to approximately $5,000, in addition to what you got off of the 2,500 you put in every day. So the next month, if you want to continue into another contract at 5,000 because it doubled, then you will be getting interest every day based on $5,000, which would be about 4,900 and change. In addition to your 5,000 at the end of the 30 business days will double to 10.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Is that clear?
But it sounds like you're saying that it doubles and you make the percentage.
That's correct. That is correct. I want you to make sure that you understand that is correct.
But if you start off with 2,500 and then you end up with, at the end of the month, it's approximately 4,900, it just doubled.
No. But the interest that comes off of it is going to come off of it every day. That will end up being $2,475. That'll just sit there. It's just something you make every day. The interest. So in addition, it does not affect in any way the doubling of the 2,500 to 5,000 in that same period.
So at the end, why wouldn't you have 75?
You would, if that's what I'm saying is, if you just want, yes, that's how much you in total will make. If you don't, whatever you decide to do with the 2,475, you decide to do, pay bills or reinvest it or whatever you want to do, but that's going to be there regardless. So you're right. That is correct. Pretty powerful.
Okay.
So how much do you need to come in your household? You just figure out, how much do I need to come in my household monthly? And And that's how much you know, that's what you want in there. So if you can live off of 7,500, you put in 7,500, you're gonna get 7,500 interest, and that 7,500 is gonna double to 14,000. I'm sorry, 15,000 the next month. So I just want to make sure that's really clear, because I just want to make sure that's always clear that this is how this platform is paying out.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So everyone's saying they understand in the chat. So that's pretty cool. All right. Other than that, are there any other questions? All right. So what I'm going to do here is end this session with MetaFiYielders. I probably won't do a presentation on them for some time. When I do come back to MetaFiYielders, I would be talking pretty much about results over a 30-day cycle or over the contract cycle, just to show proof of what had happened during the 42-day cycle of putting in those contracts. Because I too would like to be amazingly surprised and start drawing double on the contracts. But nonetheless, it's neither here nor there. I'm happy that everyone has opened up some contracts just to put their toe in the water to see what the initial phase is. But there again, only put in what you can afford to lose. Two, understand that diversification is going to be key in this space. So next week, seeing that everybody had some issues with their wallets and understanding that, you know, when you buy crypto or you transfer in cash, the best way to transfer that to your crypto wallet is or the fastest way that I've found is by a wire transfer. But when you link your bank account and you answer all the security questions and you go to hit that withdrawal button from your bank account, that's not immediate. That's going to fall in the 4 to 7 day cycle with most of the crypto wallets, and that's simply to protect you. So with that said, there are a couple of people waiting on their accounts to be funded. It will be interesting to see what this week does. And there again, I'm here to assist and help. So if you're having an issue with your crypto wallet or just understanding it, I have been able to walk some people through that process this week. And it was a beautiful process. I mean, we all learned different platforms have different policies, and each policy is not the same. And there again, everybody have their own, a lot of the individuals have their own crypto wallets. There again, I'm biased to a few, but there again, we will dive into more crypto wallets next week and talk about what they can do for us and what they won't do for us. But in the meantime, you know, the whole procedures in this space is, at minimum, you need a crypto wallet. It doesn't mean that you're going to buy and hold the tokens or the coins. It simply means that what we do is we buy the tokens or the coins and we transport them to another platform. The fluctuation in prices does not impact the withdrawal rate. So if I withdraw in, let's say, one Bitcoin at 40,000 and that Bitcoin value dropped to say, like it did, 36,000, when I transport this money back, it's not going to have an impact on the fluctuation of the Bitcoin price either. So that's also going to be very interesting. But nonetheless, I'm going to end it right here. And we'll be talking about crypto wallets next week. Thank you guys for coming out. I'll hang around for anybody who just wanted to chit chat for a bit, and then we'll wrap up from there. But thank you guys for coming out.
And happy Mother's Day to everybody who's a mother.
Yeah. All right. So I'll start.